Picture this: a former prince, phone in hand, dialing law firm after law firm. Each call ends the same way: rejection. No one will take his case. No one will even return his calls. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is facing the biggest crisis of his life, and he's doing it completely alone. Welcome to Royal Family Daily, where we bring you the stories the palace doesn't want you to know. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because this story is just getting started. The desperation is real. Senior palace sources are now confirming what many suspected. Andrew cannot find a single lawyer willing to represent him. The former Duke of York has been making calls, reaching out to top legal firms across the UK and beyond, but the response has been brutal. One insider revealed that lawyers simply won't touch him. They don't want the reputational damage, not with the US Congress breathing down his neck. Every firm sees exactly what this is: a runaway train of disaster they refuse to board. But here's where it gets worse. One legal team didn't just politely decline. They told him flat out they wouldn't represent him for any price. Think about that. A man who once had unlimited access to the best legal minds in the world can't even pay someone to stand beside him. So, why is Andrew scrambling for representation now? The pressure from across the Atlantic has reached a boiling point. Democrat members of the US House Oversight Committee have officially demanded that Andrew testify about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. They've sent a formal letter citing his long-standing and well-documented friendship with the disgraced trafficker. Committee lead Robert Garcia didn't mince words when he declared that rich and powerful men have evaded justice for far too long. And now, Andrew has the opportunity to come clean and provide justice for the survivors. The letter gave Andrew a deadline, November 20th, 2025, to respond. Congressional staff are already suggesting that if he refuses to appear voluntarily, a subpoena is on the table. Now, here's the complicated part. Congress doesn't actually have the legal authority to force a foreign national to testify, but the political and public pressure, that's very real. And it's mounting by the day. Things have spiralled so far that King Charles took an unprecedented step. On October 30th, 2025, Buckingham Palace announced that Andrew had been formally stripped of his prince title and his HRH status. He's no longer Prince Andrew, he's simply Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. The palace called it a necessary move, a rare royal amputation to protect the institution. If you're shocked by how far Andrew has fallen from grace, go ahead and hit that like button. Charles is making it crystal clear. He's protecting the crown, not his brother's poor decisions. But losing his titles isn't even Andrew's biggest problem right now. He's also being forced out of Royal Lodge, the sprawling 30-room mansion in Windsor that's been his home for over 2 decades. He shares it with his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, and now both of them are facing eviction. Andrew has been served a formal notice to relocate to a much smaller property on the Sandringham estate. There's a legal wrinkle though. His lease technically allows him to stay until October 2026. But the property itself has fallen into serious disrepair. Reports describe cracks in the walls, peeling paint, and issues with dampness throughout the estate. Because of the condition, Andrew may not even receive the nearly £500,000 in compensation he was expecting. The clock is ticking and the move is looking messier by the day. Inside Royal Lodge, the atmosphere is absolutely grim. Household sources paint a disturbing picture of Andrew's daily life. He wanders from room to room, talking to himself, visibly feeling the walls closing in. Staff say you can see it in his face, the weight of everything bearing down on him. Sarah Ferguson has essentially taken refuge in a private bar on the estate, fittingly named the Doghouse. She spends hours tucked away there, and, according to insiders, she begs people to stick around so she isn't left alone. She's constantly fretting about their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. Both daughters remain publicly supportive and are reportedly spending much more time at the house lately. Family friends say they're genuinely scared about how their father is coping. He hardly steps outside anymore, and despite their best efforts to support him, his mental state continues to deteriorate. Staff preparing for the eventual move say it will take weeks just to sort through everything. Some rooms are piled high with boxes that haven't been touched in years. There's another shadow looming over all of this, Virginia Giuffre. She tragically passed away in April 2025 at the age of 41. But even after her passing, her voice hasn't been silenced. Her posthumous memoir was published in October 2025, and it contains detailed allegations that have reignited public attention on Andrew's past. Giuffre had settled a civil case with Andrew back in 2022 for an undisclosed sum, but her testimony and her written words continue to keep the pressure on him. Her story remains central to why Andrew's reputation is in ruins and why the legal world wants nothing to do with him. What do you think will happen next? Will Andrew ever face real accountability, or will he continue to hide away? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. King Charles is watching all of this unfold, and palace insiders say his position is firm. One advisor described the king as determined to protect the institution, not his brother's bad decisions. Charles expects Andrew to secure proper legal counsel if congressional testimony becomes unavoidable. But finding anyone credible and willing to take him on is looking nearly impossible. Another senior palace figure put it bluntly: if Andrew imagines he can slip past Congress the way he tried to avoid consequences in the UK, he's wrong. This is heading one way only, and Andrew has become utterly toxic. Legal experts observing the situation agree on one critical point: no one wants their firm's name attached to Andrew's. He's poisonous now, both professionally and politically, and he knows it. So what happens next? Andrew is staring down the possibility of facing US lawmakers completely alone, without legal representation. Veteran attorneys have said it publicly. Without counsel, he's walking into a disaster. The big question is whether Andrew will comply with Congress at all, or simply ignore them entirely. His previous lawyer, Andrew Brettler, a Hollywood power attorney who helped negotiate the 2022 settlement with Giuffre, is no longer publicly associated with his case. The legal team that once stood by him has quietly stepped away. Andrew is on his own. Here's where we are. A man who was born into royalty, who had every advantage, every connection, every resource at his fingertips, now can't find a single lawyer willing to stand beside him. He's been stripped of his titles, forced out of his home, rejected by the legal profession, and pressured by a foreign government to answer for his past. The walls are closing in from every direction: Congress, King Charles, public opinion, and his own crumbling reputation. Andrew's isolation is complete. How did it come to this for someone who once had everything? For more exclusive royal updates and breaking stories like this, make sure you subscribe to Royal Family Daily and hit that notification bell so you never miss what happens next. This story is far from over,